Hello everybody, this is Lara at Pure Elliott Wave. I am going to continue working through my list, which is now getting a lot smaller. I'm going to do EGLD or Elrond with you today, and I'm going to show you this is where and how I get my data from. I go to Yahoo Finance, I search for the ticker symbol. This is why when you ask me to analyze a market, I'm saying it has to be available on Yahoo Finance and give me the ticker symbol. So this is Elrond. I click historical data. This drop down box, I click max, apply. Oh, it's not giving me much. Really, is that it? Is that? Let's see if it'll give me more. Download, and then I go to Motive Wave, File, Chart, Import Data, Add CSV. It'll be there in Downloads. Uncheck these, import. Okay, yes, I need to create it. I'm just going to check that I've got the name right. Elrond USD, yep, that's right. Okay, and there it is. When did this start? August 2020, wow. And it's opened at $17 and the high was $542. Wow. Okay, this looks interesting. I'm going to analyze this with you and I'm going to try and be quick. My list is down to 12 now, and when I get toward the end of it, I'm going to have a new system because that old system is no longer working. I'm going to give you a weekly or once a fortnight vote on what you want me to analyze. And the most popular requests will win. Because if I just take every request everyone asks for, by the time I get round to it, the person who asked for it's probably gone and doesn't see it. And it also means that because so many people are asking me to do so much free analysis, my list gets so long, I just can't work through it. So it's just not working for us anymore, not for me or for you. Let's do an Elliott wave count on this. Let's start out. I think this should be... Let's start out with cycle degree. I think we might have, I can see two options here. 1, 2 with cycle 1 over here, or 1, 2 with cycle 2 and incomplete expanded flat. Let's start with this and then I'll do the other idea, and then, after checking subdivisions at the daily chart level, I'll try and have an alternate. So, strongest momentum in the fifth wave, that's normal for cryptocurrencies. This probably is the third wave. And yeah, this actually looks pretty good. No, I'd put this here. Oh no, actually maybe I'd put that there, and then maybe intermediate 1 would be like this. Yeah, like that. Intermediate 4, I don't know. Primary 4 looks like a 5 though, doesn't it? I don't know about this. I have to check those subdivisions. I think that has to be a double zigzag. We'll look at that at the daily chart level. That looks okay. Mostly. Not sure about the fourth wave. Okay, let's save this and have a quick look at this at the daily chart level. This is going to determine which of those two ideas I outlined at the start is going to be more likely. So the wave count starts here. I'd have, oh, that's not looking that good, is it? If I have primary 1 over here, it's a 3-wave structure, so it's got to be over here. If I have primary 2, it's got to be there. A slow start, a curved impulse, typical. Nope, I want to have this here, this here. Oh no, that could be, yeah, no, that actually works. Yep, and here. Nope. Why are you doing that, Motive Wave? Do this. That's better. Okay, that part works well. Can we see mine intermediate 4 as a triangle? No, I think maybe it should be over here as a double zigzag. You want to see it over here. Oh, maybe some kind of combination. And then Y could be a triangle, but I don't really like the look of that. I mean, it could be. Is this going to work though? Don't like the look of that at all. No, I don't think 4 ends there. I think 4 ends here, but then it's a double zigzag and a horrible looking double zigzag. I don't want to see this as the end of the third wave with a truncation, and this looks corrective anyway. If I have 4 there, is 5 going to work? Does this have enough volume for decent looking Elliott wave structures? Possibly not. Okay, that's okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. What if? Could it have been? No. No. I don't want to see that sea wave truncated. No, it's some kind of combination. Okay. It's a, I don't know, double zigzag that looks horrible. I'm going to leave that there. So that's primary 3. Primary 4 could fit as a double zigzag, although it really does look like a 5, doesn't it? That looks more like a normal double zigzag. Y has ended substantially beyond the end of W. But is this going to work? No. Well, this is a bit more difficult than expected, isn't it? How annoying. Not what I wanted to deal with today. What about a single zigzag? Same problem. Oh, okay. What if this? That actually looks okay. But is this going to work? No, I want to see this here. This here. And then here. It's just not going to work. Because now 2 is a running flat. I suppose it could be. The truncation's not very much. And then everything else works. And I can't see an alternative that fits. Okay. A running flat. Don't like it. This looks like a good 5. The third wave is going to fit. No problems there. The fourth wave could be over here. Could be over here as a triangle. You want to see it over here, but that's not going to work. Okay, this can fit. And I think, what if this is an ending diagonal? No, that's not going to work. The trend lines don't diverge. Trying to see if there's a triangle in here. Could be. And then would this be an ending diagonal? All this overlapping. No, the wavelengths don't work. It's neither expanding nor contracting. 3 is longer than 1, 5 is longer than 3, but 4 is shorter than 2. So that won't work. So that means 5 has to be an impulse. Could it be? That is probably not going to work at all. Oh, actually it might do. If this is over here. And this could be over here. And this could be a leading diagonal. Yeah, that works. Oh yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so that works. So this is the first idea I can see. A 5 up here, a 3 down here. But I can see another idea, and the implications are important. A 5 up here, or here, either way, and then an incomplete 3 down as an expanded flat. So now we have to see this. Oh, now this looks, see, this is what I want to, this is one reason why I want to see that. Yeah, that looks good. And then this could be a double zigzag, and that might actually have a better fit. Let's look at that at the daily chart level. So within cycle 1, the 5 up, I don't think there's going to be any problem seeing a 5 up complete here. That looks really good. I like the look of that. This third wave is longer than the first. It's the scale that makes it look shorter. And the fifth wave is the longest. That fits common behaviour. Now this looks like a good 3. This looks like a good 3. This looks like a decent looking 5. Although I know already that the subdivisions, particularly of that last one, are going to be quite problematic. Nice. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. This is probably going to have a decent enough fit. Yep, pretty happy with that. That fits. Yeah, okay. So that actually has a pretty good fit. This is my Elliott wave conclusion. This first wave count sees a 5 up from the start of the wave count, week beginning 4th of October 2020, to the all-time high for Elrond on November 2021 as a 5-wave impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problematic part here is this downward movement looks more like a 5 than a 3, but it will subdivide as a double zigzag at the daily chart level. If a 5 up is over here, a 3 down here should be over. It's a 94% correction of cycle 1, so absolutely normal for these cryptocurrencies. Their huge second waves at primary and cycle degree do tend to be between close to 80% and over 90% the length of the first wave. They tend to be very, very deep. So this is absolutely normal behaviour. Here's a very, very conservative target. If this target is wrong, it won't be nearly high enough. Cycle 3 would reach 4.236, the length of cycle 1, at 2,309.039. But there's another wave count I can see which actually has a decent fit. From the start of the wave count here, again, I'm starting my wave counts at the same point. A 5 up could be complete here, and a following corrective structure could be incomplete, so more downside to go for Elrond. This wave count has a better look at the weekly chart level. From this low to this high, it looks like the 5 up is complete here, and then if we see an expanded flat for cycle 2, labelled primary A, B, C, then A subdivides itself as an expanded flat. We can see intermediate A, B, C. Now we're seeing this movement down here as a 5-wave impulse, and that has a much better look at the weekly chart level. This also, with all the overlapping in it, looks a little bit more like a B wave. One of the things that we're going to be able to tell when we get to technical analysis is there weakness in this upward movement? Was there bearish divergence between this high and this high? And it has to be from back here to here for this wave count to work. If there was, then this could be a B wave. If this wave count is correct, then we need more downward movement for Elrond to complete a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse for primary wave C. Okay, let's take a look first at the weakness in this high to try and determine which of those two wave counts may be more likely. We need to see weakness from this high to this high, not just this one, because these highs for that alternate would both be B waves. So let's look at that on the weekly chart first. Strongest volume on the very final week here. There's no divergence between price and on-balance volume. On-balance volume made highs with price. ADX declined throughout the last of that bull market. Here it is. Oh, okay, really nice. Yes, we do. Bearish divergence between price and RSI. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So that second or alternate wave count could actually be more likely. There is enough weakness in this high and in this high to suggest that they could be B waves. Volume didn't decline. It declined on this one, but it didn't decline on the last one. That's okay. We're still seeing that bearish divergence between price and RSI. Also between price and money flow index, not as clear actually. And there's bullish bias for this market, obviously, with upward movement. The range increases. With downward movement, range declines. Okay, I think that this may actually be a more likely wave count. There's enough weakness in this high and this high with that strong bearish divergence between price and RSI to suggest that these peaks could have been B waves. And so the conclusion is for Elrond, we could be seeing more downward movement. Now, these are the price points that are going to differentiate the ideas. For this wave count, if intermediate 4 were to continue any higher, it may not move into wave 1 price territory. And so a new high by any amount at any time frame above 113.73914, a fraction of a cent on a tick chart, because Elliott wave rules are absolute and they work on highs and lows, not opens and closes. So a new high above this point invalidates this wave count and tells us this wave count is more likely and that Elrond may be in a new bull run. But prior to that, at this point in time, if we see a new high above the last swing high, 69.33093, then the probability of this wave count is going to substantially reduce prior to invalidation, because if intermediate 4 was going to continue further, it would start to become grossly disproportionate to intermediate 2, and it's the proportion between the second and the fourth waves within an impulse that give an impulse what we call an Elliott wave the right look. For these markets, it's common for those corrections to be disproportionate, but only in the other direction. It's common for a fourth wave to be more brief and shallow than a second wave. Very uncommon for the fourth wave to be much bigger and longer lasting. It does happen sometimes, but very rarely. So, a new high above this price point is going to substantially reduce the probability of this wave count in favour of this wave count. A new high above this price point will invalidate this wave count. We can eliminate it and have very strong confidence in this wave count. Let's take a final look at the last swing low, and I'm just going to have to... At the weekly chart level, this last swing low has a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. That's a strong bullish reversal pattern up after the low, but it lacks support from volume. In order to have confidence in this candlestick pattern, we would need to see volume increase for this week beyond the prior downward week. We do not. This also has a bit of a bullish long lower wick, not a candlestick reversal pattern, but that was bullish. So there's a reversal pattern at the weekly chart level. It doesn't have support from volume. On balance, volume is moving sideways with price. They're both range bound. Resistance 63.62, support 38, actually probably a little bit above that. Support probably about 46. We'll look at that more clearly at the daily chart level though. ADX declining at the weekly chart level, no clear trend. Yep, price is consolidating. RSI neutral, didn't reach oversold at that low. Has it ever reached oversold? No. So if it ever did, that would be extremely bullish. Money flow index made a low after price, so that's bearish. I'd read that as a leading indicator. That's also neutral. ATR declining as price moves sideways, normal behavior, and stochastics neutral. Let's look at that low at the daily chart level. At the daily chart level, there was a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern up off the low, but again, it did not have support from volume. Volume pushing price lower quite strongly as it came down to the low. Price falls and overall volume showing some increase, particularly for the last few sessions. And then a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. And now sideways movement. Let's try and identify a little bit more clearly resistance and support. Okay, it looks like resistance is about 45, support about 45, and resistance, where's the best area? Well, I think final resistance 67. There's more resistance above that though. Yeah, probably below that, about 60. Final resistance about 67, final support 38, but most strong support 45, about 45, and resistance about 60. So 45 to 60, prices moving sideways. Within that sideways movement, it's an upward session here and here, which has strongest volume. Volume here, 127.1 million. It's actually pretty light, isn't it? And volume here, 100. Next strongest volume here, 87. Yeah, it's upward sessions within this consolidation which have strongest volume, suggesting more pressure to the upside or more interest to the upside, suggesting an upward breakout may be more likely than downward. This is not a sure thing. This is a balance of probabilities. It's a little trick I've learned over the years. Have a look at where volume is strongest within a consolidation to indicate where the breakout is more likely to be. It doesn't always work though. Again, a balance of probabilities, not certainties. Interesting also, on balance volume is overall trending higher as price is moving sideways. Again, that suggests an upward breakout may be more likely. ADX is declining. There's no clear trend. The DX lines are mostly whipsawing and ADX mostly above 15, so not particularly useful during this consolidation. RSI at the low, here's the low, exhibited bullish divergence. Did it? No, it did not. Let's just grab a horizontal line in here and see if this right peak is below or above. It's pretty much the same, isn't it? Maybe slightly below, so no bullish divergence. RSI did reach fairly deeply oversold. So that is a little bit bullish, but not as bullish as I'd like to see it. Money flow index, though, does indicate some strong bullish divergence. The close back here, 108.57, and the close here at the low, 41. Price is closing lower. Money flow index is higher after reaching deeply oversold. That's bullish. ATR declining as price moves sideways. And stochastics currently overbought. During this consolidation, stochastics has reached overbought quite a few times, oversold down here, and now overbought again. So price reaches oversold, price reaches support, stochastics is oversold, an upward swing, stochastics reaches overbought. Now moving sideways, stochastics in the lower half, again overbought as price reaches resistance, again overbought as price overshoots and reaches new resistance, and now oversold here already, and yet price is not at that support. Again here, and again here, and now bullish divergence as price finishes at support and swings up back toward resistance. So stochastics is a little bit of assistance in helping identify when one swing may end and the next may begin, but it's not working perfectly by any means. I'd expect an upward swing to continue at least to resistance. Let's see how price behaves about 60 and eventually 67. If we can see a close above this price point here, then I would expect that's an upward breakout, and I would have confidence in this wave count. I would say that there is a little bit more technical support for the idea that this is a sustainable low, but I would want to use these price points to eliminate this more bearish wave count and have confidence in this bullish wave count. That's my conclusion for Elrond. A little bit complicated, but I'm using classic technical analysis and two different Elliott wave counts with very specific price points, so you know when this price point is breached that this is probably the scenario, and there's a little bit of technical significant indication though that this could actually be the correct wave count. So that's why we need that price point breach to eliminate this bearish possibility, so we can have confidence in that bullish possibility. There is some reasonable support for the idea that this low could be sustained for Elrond. That's all from me with Elrond, and coming up next, Matic and ZIL after that. I'll work through that list in the next couple of weeks or so, and then we're going to have a voting system to tell me which free analysis to give you each week. Thank you for your patience.